A couple other things, and I am going to tie it back into some work stuff. So, what do you do? Well, I'm going to tie it back into work for a little bit because, in a delightful surprise way. So, one of the gigs I got to do a month-ish ago, corporate group, 24-ish leaders, 3 days together. And the overarching tone in that group definitely included I'm way too busy for this. It's really hard for me to get away. Uh, Struggling physically to put the phone down. Now, we had a great gathering, let me just say that. But we also did some like feedback or reflections at the end of each day, and that included something like, "What did you most appreciate about the day?" Or where also where did you feel most effective? And I'm looking for what I want to see. That's true. And also objectively, there's quite a pattern there. People appreciate the invitation, the permission to just tell stories.
Mm.
I never knew you were a gardener. I never knew you liked to walk. I never knew you were a pegboard guy. People love that. And in that context of like having 3 days together, because, me and my colleague, we're not just creating 3 days of let's just gab. We're pivoting with that. What you love, what you care about, into what you love and care about in your job, in your role. And I find people are so appreciative of all of that. I think I'm saying it here because it's sort of like a repeat aha. The part of me that in a gathering like that feels like, boy, I better bring the really serious stuff, is relieved because I get serious about the relational stuff. I'm relieved to feel their delight or their appreciation, their thankfulness, their gratitude for, gosh, just sharing our stories. That was a good thing. Um, there's a theme that is pretty strong in me that uh, has really come out of art of hosting work, and in particular relationship with Toka. Because lots of people say this, but he's the one that I sort of attach my heart to, in that what we practice, we become.
Mm.
And I find myself saying that line a lot. Like, what we practice, when we practice curiosity, we become curiosity. When we practice gardening, we become the garden itself. Like,
Mm.
there's some fun philosophical, you know, attachment to all of those things. Um, Let me say one other thing, because I was in okay, so another like potential client gig is what it is. Uh, Working with pastors, and there's a particular pastor that's called me back and said, "Hey, in our region, we're considering a blah blah blah. Could you help us, or would you be able to help us?" And I had one of those early exploration calls with him and then his conference minister. So that's kind of the highest authority in that region, and another staff person that were there. And we had such an, like, it felt generative call that was really touching on the, now, what are you hoping for? And why do you think you're hoping for it? And there was this interesting moment because they know and they can sort of get the pretty quick vibe. Tennyson comes in and does some relational things. And then this common worry shows up. What if it's not substantial enough?
Mm.
And the conference minister even asked that. Like, I think she was thinking really openly. Well, I think what I hear people saying is we need substance. Well, I use that as an opportunity. Hey, that's cool. What do you mean by substance?
Yeah,
And
good question.
eventually, in that conversation, it wasn't too hard to get to with these people, by the way. But they just landed on, oh yeah, like relationships are of substance. Learning together is of substance. Being inspired by one another's of stories, connected to church or not, is of substance. It was so fun to do all of that. So I don't know how to weave it back, but I feel like something in what we've started here is really touching some really yearn for and long for things. And then people like us, the three of us and others, we come along and we're able to offer some format that holds people in that. That's a level of what I do, but maybe it's coming from the what I do behind the thing that looks like what I do. Ooh, I think that's enough. I better stop there.